Hey, you guys, April Chapman here with the Standard of Truth podcast, and this one's a doozy. It's something. It's a video that a Facebook friend of mine sent me. So this commentary is directed toward the culture, but I do believe that there is a principle that God's people can glean from. So give me one second. First, let me silence my Facebook because it's like loud, right? So we're going to get real into it. We're going to get into it very, very quickly. The video is about 4 minutes long, and it's recorded by a woman who has 4 children, and she's got 3 that are fathered by someone else. I don't know how many baby daddies are involved. And then there's this one particular child who she has with another gentleman, and she's recording him as he is bringing his son some food from McDonald's. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so when I first watched this, I was just like, okay, this is a joke. Like, this can't be serious. But I guarantee you, this woman is absolutely serious. Like, she is not pulling any punches. She is literally upset. Do you hear the entitlement in her voice? He got the nerve to bring his son some food and only bring enough for his child. And I know what y'all are thinking. I actually had this debate on Facebook not too long ago. And, it was one of those discussions it's a very emotional discussion. And people tend to not think logically about this because their emotions are involved. Either you find there are women who have children by multiple men who get really, really upset when you bring this up, or there are men who they're like, you know what? I bit the bullet and I'm with someone who had children by someone else. And so I've been in this situation. And so what I would do is X. So you've got men who are like, this is precisely why you need to marry before you carry. Because I'd be darned if I'm going to be guilted and pressured to take care of another man's child, and then you demand that I do it. So it's like these different perspectives. So I'm going to let the video play, provide my commentary. I'm going to provide why, and you're probably not going to like my opinion, and that's fine, but there is a reason why I hold the opinion that I do, and we're going to watch and take a look. I have other children. You're bringing food for your son, and you didn't bring enough for everybody. This is her argument. Just righteous indignation. Just upset. How dare you think about your child? Like, you got the nerve. Y'all take a listen. He's like, heifer, what about your other kids? Those are not my kids. Listen, ladies. Come on, lean in a little bit. We got to have a talk. We need to have a talk because this is precisely why in 2022, men are running away from women who have children from previous relationships, and then they come with this entitlement mentality, demanding that you do this, that, and the third, not just for the child that you had with them, but for the other children, without any regard to the fact that these other children are not their responsibility, and that is your problem. This is why, as a man, you ask the average American male today, and they're like, nope, This is why I run. Because it's a bad deal. No matter how you look at it, it is a bad deal. Here you have an active father who simply wants to bring his child some lunch. And then you got ratchet baby mama over here showing out, trying to shame him and embarrass him all on social media because she's too immature and too foolish to recognize that she's got other kids by Lord knows how many other men, and that you need to be holding the other men accountable for your choices. You lie down with these men, who knows where they are, but now it's his responsibility to pick up the slack when you chose those deadbeat jokers. Unbelievable. Flag on the play. First of all, he goes, rightfully so. Well, didn't you feed them? Those ain't my kids. You're the mama. You're the parent. I am not the parent to your other babies, to your other bastard children. I'm the parent to my kid. And she has the nerve to say, you know, I don't get my food stamps till the 7th. I darn near fell out my chair. Because not only do we have this entitlement attitude directed toward this young man, but she's like, well, the government, my real baby daddy, he ain't came through and he ain't coming through to the 7th. So it's your responsibility to bring enough food for everybody. Unbelievable. Did y'all catch that about the food stamps? I was like, ma'am, get your life together. He not trying to help you, sis. His job is not to help you feed your children. Those are your responsibility. He's just being a father to his child. And I know a lot of guys that allow women to guilt them into this. And because they don't want to hear her mouth, they show up with food for everybody, even though they don't want to. Now, if the Lord has purposed in your heart to say, you know what? I lied down with this woman. I knew she was ratchet and I knew she had all these other kids and I'm the 4th baby daddy. Shame on me. However, I do feel some sort of kind of way that the other kids don't have food. Now, if that's your conviction, hey, that is so nice and sweet of you. But your obligation is not to those other children, nor should you be made to feel like a bad person because you might be struggling to make ends meet on your own. And you're just like, all I can do is do right by my child because that's where my responsibility begins and that's where it ends. But listen to this. Listen to this chick. So now her child got to starve because she can't get her way. Men, run. Stop laying down with broads like this. So here's my issue. The issue is twofold. Yes, he bears some of this responsibility. And she's going to explain why, right? So don't think that I'm just giving him a pass because there's blame all the way around. But on no planet is what this broad is saying makes any sense. There is no logical explanation outside of the fact that she's just entitled. She has the government as a daddy, 3 other baby daddies, and this daddy. She got does she work? I don't know. We don't have all those details, but this is what we know. Keep listening. He don't need to do anything. Like she knew she sounded stupid, but in her mind, because she's entitled, right? Because we live in a culture that says nothing's your fault. It's always someone else. She knew he made a point and didn't make sense, but she's just like, well, it still ain't right. I don't know. It is right there. You knew what you were getting into when you had a baby with me. I'm inclined to agree with him. But I'm inclined to help him understand and to help other young men understand. This is what you got to deal with, because this is the warped, twisted mindset of these women. Yes, he should have seen, oh, she just perpetually makes bad choices. Bad choices. Maybe I should leave her alone. But I get it. He's a man, he's probably, these two don't strike me as believers. So he's just like, listen, most men will sleep with women that have multiple children like this, but it goes no further than that. They're just like, listen, we're just smashing. We're not in a relationship. I don't value you enough to make you my wife or anything like that. But here's where they get caught up. He knew she had these other kids. Probably shouldn't have slept with her. Because now he got to deal with this for 18 years of his life. So now he's not a good daddy because he won't go beyond just taking care of his own kids. You want him to take care of the whole village. The village that you laid down with some. Like, I don't see the same kind of energy with her on the phone with the other baby daddies. Maybe they're in jail. Maybe they got shot and died. Maybe they just don't want to be bothered because they're like, she crazy. I don't know. But in any event, she's not holding the responsible party accountable. So she's going to project her bad choices, her foolish decisions onto him. Those ain't his kids, man. What is wrong with you? That's why I ain't got no voice. Because this ignorance is at an all-time high. I can't. There are no words to describe the level of depravity we're watching here. In her mind, she thinks she's right. Now, deep down inside, she knows she's wrong. But she's trying to guilt him and manipulate him to make him question, gaslight the mug out of him, to make him question his own reality. As if he really does need to be doing more because, those are his siblings. Forget the fact they're not his kids, but because they're his siblings, he should. And there are lots of people who think this way. And that's why I just be looking at him like, something wrong with you. If more women actually thought through this and were like, you know what? I can't place the burden of my poor choices onto the man that I choose to deal with in the future. And if more women just kind of accepted responsibility and shouldered the actual weight that belongs to them, maybe more men would sign up to be stepfathers. Maybe more men would be like, you know what? She is demonstrating the fact that she has learned from what she did in the past, and she's demonstrating to just, be on the up and up and fair dealings. She's demonstrating that when I come into this situation that I'm going to be allowed to be the man and to lead and to guide this family. You know what? Why not? 3 other kids, I'll take them all and love them as my own. But when you got to deal with women like this, you like, nope. When I met my husband, and I consider myself a good woman. My husband told me, he said, we didn't argue. We had a spirited debate about this very topic. Because I said, well, if I had a child, we would still be together. And that man looked me dead in the eye and said, absolutely no, we would not have been. And I was like, what you mean? And he was like, because you would have been in a category. And it would have been real difficult for you to climb up out that category. And having the child puts you in the category. You should have married the child's father. You should have made it work with your child's father. And I know this is not popular because the village, we've been sold a lie that says it doesn't matter the choices that you make. They don't impact anybody else. Everybody else just needs to deal with your choices. I would argue that this is why, ladies, that men don't want to sign up for it because they got to deal with stuff like this. Ooh, see, oh, low level threat of violence, ladies. Now she provoking him. This is why men, and I'm not saying it's right. This is why men do one of two things. They either disappear and act like you never existed and leave you to fend for yourself with that child, or they fight for custody and they have to deal with the family court system to demonstrate that you are an absolute basket case and are unfit to be somebody's mama. This is why men fight for their children, because they got to deal with this. Now, I'm not advocating that the men just disappear and abandon their responsibilities. Nope. I advocate that you fight and you take your child. I'd rather, if I was a man, be a single dad and have to figure it out and raise that child on my own than to have to expose him to that level of stupidity. This is the woman that's raising his son. And yes, he needs to bear some of that responsibility because he picked her. He picked her. He picked this type of woman, this ratchet, hood rat, ghetto mess. He chose her to lay down with and to have a baby. And so this is what you got to deal with. So brothers, let this be a lesson to learn from your homie right here. Don't be like him. Be like, nope, I'm going to choose better because my peace of mind is worth it. Just ignorant. Ignorant, shooting herself in the foot, tearing, ain't even a home. Okay, it's a broken home, but she tearing down the broken home that she had, the little bit of home that she had left, she tearing it down. This is the folly and the foolishness that our culture has stooped down to. Leave me a comment. April, you being too harsh. He could have, how much more would it have cost for him to just get the other kids' food? You're missing the point. Those are not his kids. It is not natural within human male species to desire to take care of children that don't belong to them. They actually have to push past that natural inclination to do so. But it's not natural for them. And for the men that do, we applaud you. And you're probably doing it because the women that you've had to deal with demonstrated an ability to have a sound mind. They didn't gaslight you or try to guilt you or pressure you to do so. They allowed you to come to that conclusion on your own. But this is why men are not signing up. And if you are a woman and you have children by multiple men, don't embarrass yourself by showing out like this. First of all, putting all your business out on social media. Secondly, by embarrassing yourself, throwing food in the street, making the community look like trash because you're angry, because you can't compose yourself and control yourself long enough to have a normal adult conversation. And then arguing with the child of your father over something simple that's not even his responsibility. Just because you're not handling your business to make sure your other children are eating. And you won't even applaud the fact that at least one of your baby daddies is trying to do right. Where are the other three? Or the other ones who share the father? Where is their father? Better yet, ladies, marry before you carry. And if you find yourself in a situation, maybe it's divorce. Every situation is not the same. And I'm not even coming from a place of judgments. Because let's be clear, right? I was pregnant with my firstborn. And we married before he came out. So, it's not a place of judgment. It's called, this happened, And now I got to step up and I need to handle my business and be responsible. Or better yet, if he's that trash of a dude, why'd you lay down and have his baby? Why'd you have his baby? Why'd you have the other babies? It didn't just happen. We know what actions we have to do in order for a child to produce. I know I did. I was very much aware and fully participated in it. But we got to make better choices. Because that right there is a poor, raggedy display of the bad cultural representations in our community. Think better of your ethnic image, ladies, to not put this stuff out in the public square for people to consume and enjoy. You look stupid and people are laughing at you. Leave me a comment. Am I being too harsh? Can we, is there another perspective that I'm missing? Or are we just going to deal with the truth, which is this is why most men don't sign up for that, because they don't want to deal with you, because that's crazy. Y'all leave me a comment. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment on the video. Let me know what you think.